Welcome back, and today we are tying the Ally shrimp. First off, I'm using a Partridge Patriot size 8 golden hook, and I'm also using a red tying thread. I'm starting a little bit away from the hook eye because I'm leaving some space for later on. Cutting off the end of the thread. And then it's the next step of attaching the oval silver tinsel. I like to attach that on the side like this and just hold it on the side all the way back until I'm reaching the point where if I'm just letting the bobbin go, I'm at the end of the hook here. So what I'm doing now, I'm starting to do maybe 2 or 3 turns. That's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. And then I'm going to show you. I'm taking it in between like this, and also from the other side like that, making sure that it's compact and firm, and then we're securing it. Working our way forward, and then we take the tinsel back and just keep on going forward and back again. I like to have the tinsel on the side like this, and we can leave that for now. And then we're starting off attaching the tail. I prepared a tail. As you can see, it's not so many fibers. I do really think that less is more when it comes to tails like this. And lengthwise, I'm trying to stay to maybe 1.5 length. So there's 1 length of the whole hook and another half. Attaching it on top, a loose turn, applying some more pressure and just making sure that the tail is on top and centered. Working my way to the front, realigning it on top, and just keep on working. A couple of more turns, and then I'm cutting it off in an angle. This is the start of me trying to taper this body. I'm going back again, and next up is the flesh. And here I'm using orange crystal flesh. I think traditionally it's golden crystal flesh that's used on this fly, but I like this one. But I also use the gold, so if you just have gold, use that. Some turns, double it back, hold it, and do a couple of turns like this. Make sure that the flesh is not longer than the tail itself, because then it's going to be tangling up quite more often if you do that. And there you have it, the first step of this fly. Before we do anything else, just have a small drop of super glue on top here so you're strengthening it. This is going to be crucial if you want this fly to last. And then we're attaching some red floss. Working our way until we're about halfway. Cut in an angle and do the front and back in. Before I'm actually starting to turn with the floss, I'm tapering the body a little bit now. So I want it to get a little bit fatter in the middle, and then it goes slimmer and slimmer all the way until you're in the front again, like this. Stop in the middle, and then we're starting to turn. Secure it. And cut off. Next is black floss. And then we're leaving the thread where the gold part of the hook is. And then we're just taking one turn straight over, and then we're starting to turn forward. This is important, guys. Now I did one turn, that's 2 turns, and this is turn number 3. I'm cutting off and applying some super glue to the top of the thread here, and do 2 turns back again. 1, 2. Now it's secure with glue. So as you can see now, I haven't built anything in top here because I don't want to have a big head on this fly. So when I'm turning, the most important thing in my opinion is to have even turns, even space between every turn. I do really think that just makes the whole, it just looks much more professional made when you have even turns. And I'm doing the same as last time, doing 3 turns. Then I'm cutting off, applying glue to the thread, and doing 2 turns back again. Maybe 3. 1, 2, 3. There you have it. The body is ready. The first part of the wing is to attach some squirrel. I'm using a hair stacker And it's extremely important on this fly that you don't use too much of it. If you're using a big bunch, it just takes over the whole fly. So the lengthwise, I'm always going for a couple of millimeters past the hook, all the way in the back. Taking one loose turn and just make it roll around like this. And then we're taking a couple of turn extra, 2, 3, 4. I'm taking off the vise so I can just see how this went. As you can see, I think it was a little bit too much on the end here, underneath. So I'm just pulling that out like that. That looks much better, in my opinion. Making sure that it's flat on top. Hold it and do a couple of turn extra back again. Drag it a little bit forward because I do maybe think it was a little bit too long. That is something I can be happy with. Cut off the ends of the hair. Make sure you get everything. So right now there's, if you can see, I don't know, I can try to zoom in, but you've got a lot of extras in the hole here. Use some time to get rid of that. And some super glue again on the thread. We're just going to secure it, going all the way. Like this. Next up is the golden pheasant dyed really hot orange. I'm choosing one of the smaller feathers down on the sides. As you can see, they're way too long, so I'm pulling off quite an amount on each side, like this. And then I'm applying some moisture on my fingers, wetting it, and turn back and forth like this, so it gets compact, really compact. I'm threading it through the hook eye, holding it firm on top, applying 2-3 turns. Always hold on top, go to hold on the sides and pull, pull, pull until you have the length you want. Here you have what I will say is a nice length. So what we're doing next is just threading up again. When you're pulling this up, make sure to hold steady on top here, like this, and lift it up. There it went. Do some extra turns. And then we're cutting off. Applying super glue. And work our way forward. And then we're ready for the final step, the hackle. Right here I'm using a U-wing or whatever hot hen hackle, so they're smaller, and I've measured the length so it goes a little bit longer than the golden pheasant. You should not make these hackle go way past the hook. Attaching the hackle. And cutting off the stem. I like to use a hackle plier like this, but also what I like to do, I can see if I can find it. Here it is. I have something that's called a hackle tool. It has a point end here where I can use it to spread out the wing or the fibers and also make them go back like this. It gets so much easier to work with if you're using that. And one rule I have when it comes to flies like this is to have only 1 or 2 turns. Some think that this is enough, but I like it a little bit more. So I do 2 turns, but never do 3 turns. It just kills the fly. It gets too much. So what I'm doing, I'm securing on the side after 2 turns. Holding the thread while I'm releasing and doing another turn so I can see where I'm cutting off. Pulling back, do a couple of turns, and then here you have the trick, guys. Use a brush to brush the hairs back before you do anything else. It looks so much better when you do that. And then it is just to the finishing. I'm tapering the head right now. Like so. I think that looks quite good, don't you think? And then I'm finishing off with a whip finish. So while I'm whip finishing, I am going to create the same tutorial here when tying the Alice shrimp on a treble. So if you do want to see that video, I would consider subscribing. The final step is to apply some head cement and varnish, but I'm going to do that later on.